What's up, guys? Keith here, Two Guys How To. Just surprising my son today with some baby chickens I just got at the local farmers co-op where I get the animal food for the other chickens and goats and pigs that we got. Basically, it's a little too early in the spring to put them outside, but I'm going to show you what I do in order if you want to raise chickens and you're kind of undecisive about what you want to do to how to get started. It's pretty simple. First and foremost, just go and buy the chickens. Buy some. You can read the specs on them as far as how docile they are, if they like to be handled, and how they tolerate the climate, the cold and extreme heat and extreme cold conditions. So just read up on them. If you're not really too particular about what you get, just get whatever the farm store has. You've got your straight run, which is your male and female mix, and you've got your pullets, which have been pulled out, guaranteed female, or at least 99 or 90% guaranteed female, where at birth they're sexed, they're pulled out, the pullets are pulled out of there, and they're guaranteed female, and that's where you're going to get your eggs from. If you get straight run baby chicks, it's potluck. It's either you could get a male in the baby, you could get a female. So the straight run is going to be a mix of male and female, usually a better price. On your pullets is going to be guaranteed females, or at least supposedly guaranteed females, for a little bit more money. So first and foremost, just go buy your chickens if you're not concerned, or you get whatever you can get locally at the farm store or tractor store, or you can order them online and get them shipped to your house. They'll come to the the post office, and you go up to the post office there and you pick them up and hurry up and get them home. So I've got a Tupperware container, and I've got some wood shavings that I got from the animal store. These are a little fine, and these are a little dusty, if you can see. The dust kind of goes in the house. I like the bigger shavings. They talked me into these today, but this is fine. Just to get me through, I'm going to buy bigger ones, but I don't like the dusty a lot of dust for the house, and I don't want the dust to kind of go in and clog the animals' nostrils up. So, but I've got the Tupperware, and I've got to get them inside. I've got them in this box here, and you can see they're all right there, and they're starting to get cold. So let's get them out of here and gently place them down into this new Tupperware container that I got, and get these bad boys, these little teeny babes, a nice home. So we'll take them out one at a time, put them down in there and kind of check them. I'm going to grab two at a time there, and we've just got those shavings. We've got them, they're still pretty warm, but we're going to hurry up and get them inside. I'm doing it outside to show you because the light inside isn't very good. But let's just hurry up and get them down in there. Get them some water, a little bit of water. You don't want much water because they will get too wet and get hypothermia and die. And they like to overly drink and get themselves wet. Baby ducks are the same way. So now we've got this box empty. Let's go ahead and move on inside the house here. They're starting to get cold and they can feel it. And inside here, I've got nice little spots set up for them with the heat lamp that I plugged in, and I made sure the heat lamp was super secure here on this metal table that I have. When I go out of the house, I generally turn it off. I don't trust it, and you want to make sure it's not close to anything that's combustible, any papers, plastics. This is a plastic container. I'd rather have a metal one. But as long as I don't keep it too close to them, where I'm going to overheat them and kind of burn them, and it won't be too close to the plastic to burn it. I've done this for years in these same totes. Actually, I did it last year and the year before in the same tote here. So once they get settled in there, I've got some animal starter food, and it's a chick starter food. The bag's down at the barn, but you can just get a chick starter, and you can get a regular chick starter, or you can get a medicated chick starter. The medicated has a little bit of medication mixed in. So let's put this down in there. And I just took an empty jug, a gallon jug, and cut the bottom right out. And we're going to put that down in there, get them some food, maybe put 1 or 2 of them in there so they can learn where the food is. The food's a little cold from being outside. But they'll get adapted. They're going to kind of crowd together just to keep warm. And I'll show you what we can do for a little bit of water. Okay, so we're going to get these baby chickens some water. Basically, I've got an old milk jug here, and I'm going to rinse it out. Well, actually, I'm probably just going to cut it. I've got a razor blade, and I'm just going to cut the bottom off just a little bit. I'm going to make it maybe about a ½ inch tall, not too much where they drowned in it, and not too much where they can kind of overwhelm themselves in it and bring their body temperature down. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut the bottom off this thing. I'm not even going to fill it all the way up. I'm just going to fill up just a little bit, just around, way down in here, just enough they can get their beaks wet. And so let's go ahead and bring this water on over to them. Keaton's already here. He's playing with them.
Secondary heating device.
And yep, let's get this down in there, sweetie. Or let's move this one. Let's move the food bowl out of the way here and turn it sideways. And I always put the water kind of a little bit under the lamp there. That way, if they get wet, they'll dry out right away. And let's see what they're doing. They're kind of huddled together. They're pretty cold. Let's see if we can angle this down a little bit more.
This one does.
Let's see if one of them will drink it all. Eventually they will. They're going to get thirsty. I'd rather deprive them of the water than let them drown in the water and catch hypothermia from the water.
I don't think they know what it is.
Well, sometimes you can hold it up to them
They
and get
technically
it on
don't
their
need
beaks.
to eat and drink because what they do is they eat like the things inside the egg, so they don't really have to.
That seems to be his favorite chicken there.
He likes me.
And like my son said, they don't need to eat and drink too much because they've already eaten a bunch of nourishment from being inside the egg. They kind of ate themselves out of the egg. And that's pretty much it. Just food, a little bit of water. You can even see the bottom of this milk jug that I cut out. There's just barely any water in there, just enough. You see how that one fell in? And it's going to be wet, and it's not going to dry off. And if that would have been really full tub of water, it would sit in there and drown. So that was a perfect example of what happens. Don't put too much water in. More food, less water, little bit of water. I'd rather deprive them of the water, or they'll end up drowning and they'll end up catching hypothermia from getting too cold. And you can see they're starting to eat. They're still real delicate. We have about 20 in there, and if it's too crowded, they'll trample on each other, but you can see some of them will start eating. One of them standing in the water. If there was a lot of water in there, it would not only cool its body temperature down too quick, but it would drown. So we're going to go ahead and move him out of there. I'd rather have him standing in the food. That's a little teeny one, and they're only probably about 4 or 5 days old. So once one starts, and you can see these black chickens, I forgot the name of them right now. I just bought them today. Those aren't bantams. They're maybe buckhorns. They're a little smarter. You can see how they're adapting way quicker. And that's the one that's going to be favored. So let's let them eat. Let's let them sleep and rest and get acclimated to this cage and get acclimated to this light. I'll pull the light, the tub over a little bit more and get a little bit more light on them all. And you want to make sure you keep it, plenty far away, and check the temperature if you're using a plastic container. You don't want it to get too hot. It will melt and it could catch fire. So you want to make sure you keep checking the temperature. Like that's perfect temperature right now where the light is, and at the right height too. And you can see some of them are sleeping, and don't be alarmed, they're asleep with their neck out. They're just sunning themselves, getting their body warm down in there. The other ones are very active. They're showing each other how to eat out of the bowl of food. The smaller ones are eating, watching the bigger ones and the more experienced ones. And you can see a little bit of water that I had in the bottom of this bowl here, or the homemade bowl that we made from the milk carton. They drank it all, so I've got this cup here with just a little bit of water in it. I'm just going to refill it just a little, just enough so they can get some, but don't soak themselves down and get hypothermia and get too cold. My son's helping me, and we are setting up the chicken coop for the first time this year. He's got the box of chickens, and he looks pretty happy. So we're gonna get him situated in here and get him with some heaters and some warmth going. It's still a little chilly out. It's early, very early spring. We went ahead and got these in a paper bag from the local supply store that does our animal food, etc. And it's made by Irving, but these come in a paper bag. They're a little cheaper. Normally, you might save 50 cents or $1 on them. So we're gonna get them down here on the ground.
I think they're cold.
They're cold? They probably are. Let's go ahead and get these opened up. Get some bedding put down in the bottom here. Then you get a good look in there and see how it looks. Basically, we've got, a couple inches of pine shavings there. And these baby chickens are actually ready. You can see them down in there. They're bigger. They've been eating healthy, and they're ready to go inside their new little home here. So we're going to get them in there. And we've got in here, we've got a water bowl. It's just like a, kind of a frozen food container that we ate, some kind of TV dinner type thing. And I always save those little things, and they're good for food and water. And we've got a little bit of food in here. I'm going to get them some more water. Like I said, you don't want them to have a lot of water because they will get too wet. And I've got a heater in here, if you can see it. It's actually hanging up. Let me show you guys real quick. This one's kind of like a flat heater. It's got feet on it where it should sit upright like this, but I'm hanging it off of wire and a board that I have up here so I can control how high it is off the ground, and I've got it on the lowest setting so the chickens can stay under here. And we're gonna go ahead and get these little guys put in there. It's warm enough outside now. They're starting to just kind of overrun the house and hop out. So let's get them inside here. Let them get acclimated. And we'll get them a little bit more food over here. And I'll get one of these bowls here for water, just right near the edge here. And we're going to shut this door on them. And we can look at, them through the side door here if we open this window up and do our little check on them. But we'll see how cold they get, make sure they don't get too cold, and they can stay up underneath that warmer. And I can raise and lower that warmer with that tie wire that I got in there. I basically just put the tie wire around it, and that heater's supposed to sit up like this, like a TV. I just laid it flat down with the heat pointing down towards the chickens and ran my galvanized wire around up to that little board I have up, and I made sure the board is structured that way that board doesn't fall down in and you know, damage the chickens, kill the chickens, or catch the wood chips on fire. You can see the chickens, you can see the heater, and it's just hanging down overhead. They're up there eating some food and drinking some water we got in those trays right there. And when they get cold, they can get up underneath that heater. And you can make one of these chicken coops. We got this one free. And or you can buy them, and you can see the wire just runs around here. And I've got it plugged into the house over there, and this actually has a control switch, so we've got high and low. And I can't remember who makes this heater. You can check online to find out. You can check online to find out who makes the heater. And I've got this high and low switch, and I'm going to end up tacking it up inside here like this and putting a little cover over it. That way it's waterproof and weatherproof and everything else. So I'm going to run it on high right now, just because it's getting a little chilly out. Been about 2 weeks since we got these chickens out inside from the house, when we moved them from the house into the coop. So we're looking at about maybe 2.5 weeks. And you can see the bigger ones have been coming down on the bottom. So it's hard to see. Let's see if we can get them over here into the sunlight. Come here, you guys. You see how big they are now? They're ready, the big ones. And then we got a bunch of littler ones we put in here. Let's open up and see how this family's doing in there. Oh, there they are. And look at those little stinkers. They're getting bigger, so I've been keeping the smaller ones up top. And there's a door right there, and I've been letting the bigger ones go in and out. Today's pretty warm. If it's cold out, I'll keep the small ones up top all day and leave just the bigger ones on the bottom, since they're less susceptible to dying. But today's pretty warm, so let's open the door up. Let's see if these little guys come in and out. Here they come. Here come the babes. Go on now. And once I get to pouring water down here, they'll probably all come down because they want a nice drink here. And we've just got this water, automatic water, filled up down in here. And we've got the food dispenser right there. It's full of food, and you just take this out. You can get these at offline or local store. And I've just got a big scoop here of food in this other bucket. And you just keep filling this up, and it just keeps falling out the bottom as they eat it. It just keeps loading up for them, and they will eat. This is a medicated chicken food, and I'll fill this all the way to the top, or almost to the top. I'm actually going to take some in here for these little babies. And they're probably going to start trying to come out, but we're going to go ahead and fill this up for them. Let them eat. Now you can see they're already down here. They hop down here to eat. Little teeny baby probably wants a little bit of water, which we will give them. We've got water in this little container right here that hangs down. But I'm going to fill up this little TV tray full of water here for them. Just give them a little something. It's not cold today, so they won't get wet and get hypothermia. But you can see they're all in there. I just keep the small ones in there. The big ones and small ones at night. The small ones during the day if it's cold. I let the bigger ones in the bottom. And you can just see how much bigger they're getting. In just a few weeks, they're just all happy little birds. So again, it's enjoyable to raise these little guys. These are all female. These are pullets. They're pulled out and labeled sexed as females at birth. The straight runs are a mix of male and female. If you want some roosters and you want some egg layers, it's very enjoyable. So, you know, springtime now, and they're gonna get bigger. About 6 months. I always give them about 6 months to lay eggs. People say sooner, but I generally don't really notice that. It's normally around 6 months. And they're kind of finicky on the weather too. If it's too cold, they'll quit laying. If it's super hot, they'll quit laying. Generally, you get 1 egg a day. Certain breeds, a little less, maybe 1 every other day or so. So just do your research. It's enjoyable to take care of these little guys. And when they get old enough, we're just gonna go ahead and move them on down to the barn and get them set up and acclimated in there. And they'll learn from the older chickens, and they'll go in at night when it gets dark, and we'll let them out in the morning. So raise those baby chickens, do it yourself, save that money, get those organic eggs. If you got any questions or comments, hit us up. Keith with Two Guys How To. June's over there working on some stuff. I'm gonna go and help him and get some of it. Like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. If you have any questions, let us know. And raise them yourself, save that money, be well worth it. It's gonna pay off in the long run for sure. It's enjoyable. See ya. What's up, Iggy? Talk to him before I shut the video down. Oh yeah. Yep. You're not a pig, you're a lawyer. He's not a pig, he's a lawyer.
I'm not a pig, I'm a lawyer.